Welcome everyone. Myself, Dr. T. Meera, Associate Professor, Plant Pathology, Department of Agricultural Sciences, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. So I'm handling the course Disease of Field and Horticulture Crops and their management. And today I'm going to cover the topic Disease of Plantation and Flower Crops. So the first disease of plantation crops is black pepper. So disease of black peppers, the list of disease in black peppers are foot rot or quick wilt of disease, pullu disease, or otherwise it is called as anthracnose, slow decline or slow wilt, stunt disease, phyllodes disease, basal disease, wilt, and leaf rot and leaf blight. So foot rot, and otherwise it is called as a quick wilt of pepper. It is very most destructive disease with the pepper, which is prevalent in the Kerala. The infection initiates with the onset of southwest monsoon, and it also affects the all cultivable varieties and vein of all the age of fruit plants. So symptoms occurs, they have symptoms in various parts of the plant. First in the collar region, so formation of water soaked lesions changing to the wet slimy dark patches on the collar region and rotting. Foot rot, the fatal symptom is seen in all the collar regions resulting in quick wilt. Roots, infection in the root or symptoms in the roots are as follows. Root infection also initiates as water soaked dark patches on the feeder and territory, secondary, and also in the primary roots, which results in the food rot, decaying and shredding of roots. Next is the symptoms on stem. The infections on runner shoots and cuttings causes rotting of sprouting, results in shoot rot. Breaking of stem at the nodal region, branches turns to dark brown due to rotting. So infection on symptoms shown on the leaf, uniformly dark on young leaves, or shows concentric zones with a grayish center on mature leaves, water soaked lesions, and rapidly expand into the large dark brown spots. So infections shown on spikes and berries, withers and shrivels of berries, and heavy spike shredding without any discoloration. So this is the symptoms that you can able to see on the veins, you can see on the leaf, that is due to the wilt. From the margin, it will extend inside the lamina towards the petiole. So the pathogen which causes the wilt is Phytophthora capsicum, and it is a heterothallic oomycetes. And Phytophthora capsicum will produce both male and female gametangia, which is called as an androecium, and the female is called as a oogonium. The oospores and zoospores and chlamydospores surviving in the soil will germinate with a receptive on monsoon showers and initiate infections in the root and at the collar region. Systematic position belongs to the phylum Heteroconotophyta, class Oomycota, order Fernosporales, family Fernosporaceae, genus Phytophthora, and species is Capsicum. So this is the structure of Phytophthora sporangia. So favorable conditions, heavy rainfall, more number of rainy days, heavy relative humidity more than 90% favor the disease, lower temperature of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius and less sunshine hours are the favorable climate conditions for the disease. Mode of spread, the primary spread is through oospore, secondary spread is zoospore, and a secondary inoculum, zoospores leads to sudden outbreak. Spread is through soil, water, root contacts, movement of people, sludges, sleighs, and use of contaminated implementers, etc. Intercultural operations, especially soil digging around the vein, nematodes infestation, root mealybugs, attacks, etc., predispose the infections. Management, phytosanitation, drench, such spots with 0.2% of COC or 1% of Bodo mixture to eradicate the inoculum from the soil. Plant disease-free rooted cuttings can be used and allow penetrate of sunlight, proper pruning, use of biocontrol agents such as Trichoderma viride, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and VAM inoculated cuttings. So during the initial phase of infection, drench the veins with 0.2% of potassium and sodium phosphonate. Spray with 0.1% to 0.15% of potassium as well or sodium phosphonate, which is compatible with biocontrol agents. Do not use copper fungicide if the garden is protected with biocontrol agents. Spray Rhodomil MZ at 2 gram per liters. So the next disease is pollute disease, or otherwise it is called as anthracnose. So other names in India, it is known as fungal pollute diseases. In Malaysia and Indonesia, it is called as a blackberry disease, and it is also refers to as a berry spot or berry split. Symptoms appears in leaves and stems. Circular or irregular gray spots appears on the leaf. The lesions or spots has predominant yellow halo around it. The lesions have a collapse resulting in leaf blight and subsequent defoliation. Concentric rings of Acerulae appears on upper surface of the leaf. On the stem, the infection appears at the tip and it spreads towards downward and also kill the entire vein. On the spike, the black discoloration appears on the attached portion of the stem, later leading to the spike shredding, which results in 100% of yield loss. On the berries, sunken areas and the lesions develop. The infected berries get mummified. Later, it will become hollow. That's why it is called as a pollute disease. On development of berries, cracks developed on the periphery or berries and radially split, leading to a dry weight loss. Pathogen of pollute disease is Polytrotrichum gliosporidus and Polytropin necator. The mycelium is septate, conidiophore, DS conidia, which are falcate, hyaline, and unicellular with narrow ended. Acerulae and setae are present. Favorable conditions, the infection is noticed during June at the time of spike emergence, monsoon season. Mode of spread, primary spread, ascospores from infected plant debris, secondary spread, Agbor conidia. Management, removal and destroy of all fallen leaves and spikes, irrigating veins during summer month. Adequate shade regulation is must for the managing this disease. Pseudomonas fluorescens 20 gram per liter for commercial formulations. Once before flowering and then at berry formation stage, spray copper oxychloride 0.2% or Bodo mixture 0.1%. In the severe condition, spray carbendazim at 0.1%. The next disease is slow decline. So the symptoms of slow declines are foliar yellowing, dieback of aerial stems, occasional tip burns, interveinal fluorosis, and flaccidity of leaves. The affected plants dies within 2 to 5 years. The root system of the infected veins shows the presence of root knots and root. With the onset of southwest monsoon during May to June, some of the affected veins will recover and put forth fresh foliage. The symptoms reappears in the subsequent season after the cessation of the monsoon, and the diseased veins gradually lost their vigor and productivity. See here, this is the root knot that we can able to see on the root of the pepper plant. So pathogen, this disease is a fungal nematode Chromestra complex coupled with moisture stress and malformation. The pathogenicity of Melodogyne incognita and Rhadophilus similis has been established with association with Rhizoctonia species, Fusarium species as well as diploid species. So this is a microscopic picture of nematode, Melodogyne and Rhadophilus. So favorable conditions, rainy season and loamy light soils favor the development of the disease. Mode of survival, fungal survives in diseased plant debris, cyst and egg masses of the infected plant debris, and soil or collateral and other hosts like solanaceous, malvaceous and leguminous plants act as a source of inoculums. It will spread through monoecious second stage juveniles that may also be by water dispersal. Management, raised pepper cuttings in solarized nursery mixtures, use nematode-free rooted cuttings for planting, apply green mulch at the rate of 45 tons per hectare, treat the veins with native isolates of mycorrhiza or trichoderma or pseudomonas or bacillus at the time of planting in the nursery as well as in the main field. Assure root mealybugs control if it is observed. So next disease is stunt disease, which is caused by pepper nigrum, the strain of cucumber mosaic virus. See that you can able to see a chlorosis in between the veins, and the veins will become very thickened and it will shows a chlorotic symptoms very promptly. So next disease is Phyllodes disease, which is caused by phytoplasmal disease. Here the symptoms, see this is the fresh plant and this is the Phyllodes affected plant which convert the inflorescence into a small leaflets. Next is basal rot, which is caused by Sclerotium ralsei. So next disease that we are going to see in the plantation is vanilla. So the first disease is root rot, which is caused by Fusarium species as well as Sclerotium species. Symptoms, the browning of roots leading to the rotting and decay, yellowing of leaves, stems and leaf will become facet, shriveled and giving a drooping appearance. So this is the symptoms of stem rot, which shows browning of roots in the vanilla plant. So this is the cuttings that which have been placed, which shows the symptoms of root rot. Management, we have to cut and remove the affected roots, destroy and reduce the mulch, soil drench and spray the plant with 0.2% of copper oxychloride at 2 to 3 liters per plant. So next is stem rot, which is caused by Fusarium species, that is Fusarium oxysporum former species vanillae. The symptoms is water soaked lesions giving a stem a brown colored appearance resulting in rotting of tissues, leaves turning yellowish and dry off. When the basal and end portion of the veins decay and shrivel, the remaining distal portions of the veins will show a wilting symptoms. So the plant is showing, the vanilla plant stem is showing the rotting of tissues. So see here, these are rotting of tissues, water soaked lesions on the stem. Brown color tissues. So the manage, we had to cut and remove the affected portions, spray 0.2% of carbendazim and repeat the spray after 1 month. So next disease is bean rot, which is caused by Phytophthora species. The symptoms are rotting and shedding of beans. Phytophthora rot will develop at the tip of the beans and slowly extended towards the peduncle, and the affected beans will show water soaked lesions, which will become dark green, leading to the rotting of the bean. Next is Sclerotium rot is characterized by rotting of beans tip, and affected portions will show white color thick masses of fungal mycelium. So see here, this is the rotting and shredding of beans, vanilla beans. This is rotting of vanilla beans, which is caused by sclerotia, which will have a white color powdery moss on the upper surface of the beans. Management, we have to spray 0.1% of carbendazim and 1% of bodo mixture alternatively at weekly intervals, and remove and destroy the infected plant parts and mulch during the rainy season. Allow at the least 30 to 50% light to fall on the veins. Spray bodo mixture 1% and drench the soil with 0.2% of copper oxychloride. Next is shoot tip rot, which is caused by fusarium as well as this is caused by sclerotia. So symptoms is decaying of shoot tip and leaves at the tip. Management, we have to spray 0.1% of carbendazim at 15 days of interval. So this is the decaying of shoot tip and leaf at the tip. Vanilla mosaic, which is caused by vanilla mosaic virus. Symptoms is mosaic pattern or mottling of the foliage, stunting, sterility, and leaf deterioration. So this is the mosaic pattern on the leaves. See here, we can able to see alternate green and yellow patches on the leaf surface. The stunting of the plants veins, which shows small leaflet structures. So this is all the symptoms which you see on the beans, leaf. Management, we have to uproot and destroy the affected plants, use disease-free planting materials in the primary requirement of to check the spread of the virus. We have to check on weed and crop host, which might be act as a reservoir for the need to be removed. The removed plants must be burnt and buried deep into the soil. Insects such as aphid act as a vector for the different viruses. So insecticides like monocrotophos at 0.05% can control the aphid and other sucking insects. Movement of plants materials from the infected regions to disease-free regions should be avoided. So leaf and stem blight, which is caused by Polytrichum vanilla. Symptoms, appearance of brown spot on the leaves and stems followed by yellowing of leaf and rotting of leaves and stem. Management, we have to spray 1% of bodo mixture or 0.4% of potassium phosphonate. This is the brown spot of the leaf on the leaf we can able to see on the vanilla plant. So mostly the management practice that we have to follow very important for the prophylactic measures are timely shade management, avoid excess of moisture, allow free movement of air, and we have to avoid overcrowding of veins by keeping adequate spacing. We have to avoid mulching during the rainy seasons and mulching with materials that are not easily decomposed, and avoid excessive manuring and use of fresh cow dungs, and apply recommended doses of biocontrol agents like Trichoderma, Pseudomonas, and Bacillus, etc. And we have to collect and destroy the parts of plants showing disease symptoms. So these are all the management which can be commonly followed for the management of diseases in the vanilla plant. So next is diseases of flower crops. In that the first crop we are going to see is diseases in the rose plant. So first important disease is powdery mildew, which is caused by Sperotheca pennosa var rosea. The symptoms are the infected leaves will show grayish powdery fungal growth, rolling of leaf margins with the onset of sprouting season. Affected leaves will become curled and deteriorated. Badly affected flowers, buds will fail to open, and infected floral plants will become discolored, dwarf, and dried. Spread and survival, primary infection through mycelium in the dormant buds and shoots or as a Clistothesia. Secondary infection is through windborne conidia. And management, we have to control and destroy the infected plant debris. 4 spray with wettable sulfur at 0.3% or carbendazim at 0.1% or dinocap at 0.1% at 10 days interval. So resistant varieties can be used: Ashwini, Ambika, Angels, American Pride, and Surbi. So these are all the resistant varieties of the powdery mildew of rose. So this is the symptoms shown in the picture, that you can able to see a white color powdery mass on the upper surface of the leaf. So second important disease is black rot, black spot, which is caused by Diplocarpon rosea. Symptoms: dark brown tar colored spots with frigid borders, spot collapse forming large patches. Infected leaves will turn brown on defoliate, and fungus may also attack the stem and flowers of the rose bushes. On stem, infected areas are blackened and blistered, appears dotted with pustules. Survival and spread. Bacteria and ascospores are infected with plant debris, windborne conidia. Management: affected plants should be collected and destroyed. Sprayed tridimorph 0.02% to 5% at weekly intervals, starting with the sprouting of the plants till the foliage appears. Shade and extensive irrigation should be avoided. Resistant varieties can be used. Radiance escape infection due to the waxy surface. So this is the black spot, rose black spot symptoms on the leaf. Dieback, which is caused by Diplodia rosarum. Symptoms: infected starts from the pruned surface of the twigs. The infected portions will become brown to dark brown to black color. Infected twigs will dries up from tips towards the downward of the stem. Infections spread from twigs to main stem and root, and finally the whole plants are killed. Older plants and neglected bushes are more frequently infected. Survival and spread: pycnidia present in dead twigs, conidia through irrigation water. Management: diseased twigs should be carefully removed and destroyed. After pruning, the cut and the end should be protected with Chaubatia paste, and we have to spray mancozeb or diflotan 0.2% during the month of September and late October. So we can use resistant varieties like Blue Moon, Red Gold, Summer Queen, etc. So this is the symptoms of dieback in the rose. So rust, which is caused by Euromyces hubusoni, and symptoms: leaves and stems and inflorescence are infected. Blisters and tumors and other abnormalities may be produced in infected plant parts. Infected portions will become hypertrophied. Orange colored pustules on the both surface of the leaf, but prominently on the lower surface. Chlorosis and defoliation of the leaves under severe condition. Yellowing and orange colored cankers on the stems and twigs. Splitting of bark on the affected branches and subsequent death of the branches. Flower production is very highly reduced. So diseased cycle: primary infection through teleospores in the infected plants, secondary infection windborne as asciospores. Pathogen: autoecious rust. Uridal stage is absent. Pistules are initially yellow in color and later it will turn to dark colored. Favorable condition is June to July and persist till the March. And management: remove and destroy the affected plants and plant parts to avoid the further spread, and spray oxycarboxyn or mancozeb dust with sulfur, or spray tridimorph at 0.05%. So this is the symptoms that you can able to see on the lower surface of the leaf and the rust. Next is Cercospora leaf spot, which is caused by Cercospora jasminicola. Symptoms: conspicuous, circular to irregular, reddish brown spot at a darker, broader and whitish center appears on the both the end of the leaf surface and other aerial parts of the plant. Severe infection results in defoliation and dieback symptoms, and flowering is adversely affected. The management of the Cercospora leaf spot is: we have to spray carbendazim at 0.1% or COC at 0.3%. Monthly spray of binomyl or thiophonate methyl at 0.1%. Collect and burn the diseased plant debris, and Parimulle is moderately resistant. Cercospora leaf spot of rose. Disease of chrysanthemums. First disease is blotch, which is caused by Septoria chrysanthemella. Symptoms: blackish brown color, circular to irregular spots on the leaves, which later forms a large patches which covers major portion of the leaf. Patches are surrounded by chlorotic halo. Dead leaves hangs on the stem for some time. Dead leaves hangs on, later it will turn to grayish and yellow, remains the small and it will curl off. Primary infection through plant debris present in the soil. Secondary infection is the windborne conidia. The management practices are collect and burn the diseased plant materials, spray carbendazim 0.1% and use tolerant varieties like Sarad, Alpana and Flirt. So this is a leaf blotch of chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum, next disease is chrysanthemum stunt, which is caused by viroid and small plants with paler plants and flowers. Some plants appears bleached and other inferior in quality. Flowers are diseased plants open 7 to 10 days earlier than the healthy ones. Axillary buds grow prematurely and produce number of branches and stolons, and plants are stunted in appearance. Cuttings of diseased plants root poor. Primary infection is viroid severe in the infected plants. Secondary infection spread through sap and knives or tools used during the pruning or pinching plants, taking cuttings and cutting the flowers. Management: use certified viroid free stocks and you remove and destroy the infected plants. So this is the symptoms of stunt disease in chrysanthemum. This is the healthier one. This is infected plant, the flower of the healthy plant and flower of the infected viroid plant. Next disease is fusarium wilt, which is caused by Fusarium oxysporum forma species chrysanthemi. And the symptoms is disease is characterized by chlorosis of one or more leaves, drooping of leaves and wilting of affected plants. Black necrotic spots appear on the stem. Vascular discoloration. Creamy mycelial growth of the pathogen is seen on the collar region under humid condition. Spread and survival of the disease: the primary infection through soil-borne fungus and through cuttings. Secondary infection is conidia disposed by irrigation water. Management: cuttings should be obtained from disease-free plants. Long crop rotations can be reduce the fusarium wilt disease in the chrysanthemum. So this is the symptoms of fusarial wilt in the chrysanthemum. The first picture will shows the healthy plant and second picture will shows the fusarium wilt symptom. Next important disease is flower crop is Crossandra. So disease of Crossandra, first disease is wilt caused by Fusarium solani. Symptoms usually observed 1 month after transplanting in patches, and the leaves of infected plants will become pale and droop. Leaf margins will show pinkish brown discoloration, and discoloration will spread to midrib in 7 to 10 days. Stem portions get shriveled. Dark lesions noticed on the root extending up to the collar region, which results in slugging of cortical tissues. Primary infection is chlamydospores, survive in soil. Secondary infection is microconidia, disposed through irrigation water. Favorable condition: incidence is more in presence of root lesion, nematode and helicocotyledonous species. Management: remove and destroy the affected plants. Soil application of phorate 1 gram per plant at 10th day of transplanting from nematode management. Soil drench with carbendazim 0.1% or COC at 0.25%. Repeat soil drenching after 3 to 4 weeks. So this is the symptoms of wilt in the showing in the younger plant of Crossandra, that you can able to see that wilt starts in the younger stage, that is in the small plant stages, that it dries from tip of the plants to it moves towards the down towards the root, and it will reaches and it will cause symptoms in the leaf leaf will shows yellow color discolorations, and in later stage it will droop off and it will transfer until the root region, and it will cause the wilting symptoms, and due to this the whole plants will die. So today we have seen the diseases of plantation crops and the diseases of field crops. In diseases of plantation crops, we have seen diseases of pepper, vine, and vanilla diseases. And in diseases of flower crops, we have seen diseases of rose, jasmine, and chrysanthemum. So thank you.